Oh boy, gonna do some Jazz Jackrabbit, the CD-ROM version, because it has the most content in it. Welcome, Game of Plays, Jazz
Jackrabbit. It's Sonic, but you have a gun.
Yes, that's right. Also, the music is really great. Probably the best I've ever heard in DOS platformer. Gotta have that track or music. Gotta have copyright infringement, of course, too. This is DOS. We don't care about that crap. Floppy ears and a big gun. And if you don't have a big gun, you're a gunner person. This is a game by some guy who eventually made this client with some other game I don't care about. Mostly because I wish he'd re-release this. But that's okay, you can get this on GOG. Not a big deal. The reason I mention GOG is because the premise is there's a recent patch for this game that fixes some level design issues. So I'm playing it with that patch. I don't know if there's going to be more plans to fix some of the other stuff, but this fixes a major thing, with one level at least, that won't be in this video. So, each episode, you just go to 3 planets and then a boss. This is your standard Diamondus. A Diamondus forever. This is a standard, Green Hill, Emerald Hill situation. Story goes, Devon Shell, Turtle Guy, kidnaps Eva Erlong, a rabbit. There's this whole ancestry of the torso and hair thing that's an Aesop. By the way, I didn't know you pronounced it that way. I used to keep pronouncing it Aesop. So I'm playing on hard mode, because that gives you the most variety of enemies, as you might imagine. I always try to stick with whatever the hard mode is. Never the hardest mode where it's stupid. But in this one, the harder mode than hard, all it does is make it so enemies take twice as long to kill, which seems unnecessary. and you'd have less time. So the difficulty controls the enemy layout, the amount of time you get, I suppose the amount of lives you start with, which, by the way, lives aren't important, as I found out later, because you can just continue where you left off. Your score just gets reset, in case that's important to you, which, lends to my theory that this game may have been intended to be a console release at the same time, possibly. I mean, Lemmings did something like that, didn't they? So I wonder, reading up on this game, how much it was trying to be a console game, especially since there's adverts for the Gravis pad controller. So, if you're not playing this game with the controller, you're definitely doing it wrong. Which is why I used Anti-Micro. I use a different setup for this game specifically. Something you want to keep track of if you're using something like Anti-Micro for this, or any kind of controllers, make sure that there's no, I don't want to say input delay, but make sure you can press the button as fast as possible and there's no, delay between button presses if you're shooting without rapid fire. Each gun, there's only 4 guns or so. You could do the whole game with the basic infinity ammo gun, by the way, but the other guns make it easier in different ways. So the toaster is just bigger, so you have less chance of missing. The second one, I think, is the missiles. Fires twice as many projectiles at once if you're trying to kill things faster, and also you can aim them, upwards and downwards a little bit. You can't actually, well, I think you can shoot your gun up, by the way. It's not something I do too much. I don't see this as a Contra-like game. The rapid fire power-up stack. There's a 1-up. The classic 1-up is also the character's face. Guy like the face. The face of a generation. Anyway, this was a bitch to set up, let me tell you. This is also probably the first video you're probably seeing if you're new to my channel, which is possible. But that's because I changed around. I finally turned off the age restriction for pretty much everything, unless YouTube or the community deems otherwise. It's not because I wanted to block ads. It had to do with me making sure that children didn't get ads, and that was kind of dubious. So I learned otherwise. Took me a while. Plus, there were some other things that proved the point to me. It's just fine, okay, we'll play it your way. This is a bonus stage. Bonus stages are the best because there's no enemies. Actually, that's a lie, because this is the one that actually has an enemy. But yeah, if you haven't seen this power-up yet, you're playing as that power-up, which is you have a bird that this is basically the squawks of the game. You know, it just auto fires when you're near an enemy, which is a good indicator in case you're off screen, you can't see shit. But yeah, for some reason, this is like 1 to 2 bonuses where you turn into an animal, which is kind of cool. It reminds me of I don't know what other game does something like that where you just become other things. I guess Spyro the Dragon comes to mind a little bit, except you're just playing as other characters, but still, that's what I think of. There's a reference to One Must Fall. It's the best fighting DOS game you'll ever find, and it's not like the best DOS fighting game made specifically for DOS. There we go. In case you want a good Street Fighter port, because I think there is one. There's also a really good Mortal Kombat port, like for the first 3 Mortal Kombat games for DOS. Those are the best ports of Mortal Kombat. Like, they're close to arcade quality practically. Seriously, if you get the right CD-ROMs, it's pretty much identical, and the way that just makes me think I would want to try that sometime, because I think they also combine it with the best parts of the difficulty from the Genesis version. So the boss is just a basic enemy, which I find hilarious. But yeah, this is one of the few times in which you're just fighting something that's not actually a boss level. I think the sequel does stuff like that too, for whatever reason. I don't know, it's a pleasant surprise, but an unsure one to be sure. Bird friend's got his bird friend, and he birds it up. The bird is the word, people. Oh yeah, this level clear thing doesn't always come up when I've cleared levels. I don't know what that's about. Welcome to Tube Electric. It's about electricity and tubes. It's a series of tubes! This is effectively, I imagine this is the chemical plant analog. Definitely. Considering these pipe thingies, yep. Those things are annoying, the things with the bulging eyeballs that seem to move at you much like the boos in Mario Bros. Or Japanese the Terisas, excuse me. Anyway, there is no freaking way that I know anything about these enemies' names. I think I remembered some of the bosses' names, but the actual enemies' names, nope. Oh, yeah! Man, I can't get enough of the music. I think there's only like one stage in the whole thing that uses a redundant track. And that's okay, because, you know, 1 out of like how many levels? Practically 1 out of 27 ain't bad, okay? So like, yep. And I think it's because they used the one unique track for a different bonus level that you're not going to be seeing for a while. Which, I wonder if that would have been better. I don't actually know. Another thing that's weird about this game is like, a lot of the environments are quite, like, some of them are straightforward. Alright, but this is one of those ones that feels kind of unique. Right? You'll see it a lot later. Like, oh, especially the second episode. Oh, man. I've divided this playthrough into episodes, by the way, because it's short enough. Even though sometimes I screw it up, but yeah. Screw it up is fun for me when it's dark blue. Man, these graphics, though. Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure if you've seen reviews of this, the only complaint you could probably think of that's really... besides the bug fixes, which happen, the real problem with this game is the lack of screen size. That can really screw you up. Which means you're not going to be running as fast as you think. Alright, we got a grenade launcher thingy. It's a grenade launcher. Or, you know, it bounces like the napalm from Mega Man 5, I think. There's one more weapon, which is like TNT, and it just destroys everything. Well, it hits everything on screen once, which has the added side effect of shooting items that have to be shot to be activated, which is good for the monitors and stuff. Not for stuff you have to actually physically touch. Lasers that are timed to the beat. I don't know why the graphics gamepad's like, yeah, we're the Super Nintendo controller, yeah, but yeah. Something else I noticed while playing this game, there's like one item I pick up I didn't realize was actually boosting my time. I don't know if that's just another bug or whatever, but this wouldn't be the first time I played a DOS game which had a weird bug in it that I couldn't actually understand where it was coming from. So, you know, you take the quirks, you just take them for granted, I suppose. A lot of people love this game. A lot of those people like the sequel more, and yeah, I get it, because it fixes the screen size problem. So if you're looking for custom content for Jazz Jackrabbit, you're more likely to find the second game, but really what I've found for that is not as substantial as I thought it'd be, but like, there's people trying out different things, but the only, like, major one I could think of, I have to, like, give a look-see. Like, yeah, there's exactly one Jazz Jackrabbit 2 thing I want to try. There's two Jazz Jackrabbit ones I actually want to try, but what was it? I think one of them's called Lost Ages. And that one's probably the most, like, that's a very involved mod, but it's also stupidly hard. I have to consider what I'd do to actually play that, but we'll see. Not to mention, like, I don't know. I'm going to have to look into that, because that seems like something that's perfect for my channel, as in something that you don't really see people do. Like Jazz Jackrabbit mods on my YouTube channel, like, who's done that? You should have been noted at the facts. My background still is Jazz Jackrabbit in it. By the way, artists, this is a note that I want to commission to redo my banner stuff. Just everything. It is time. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. That's kind of the problem. Payment's not the issue. What I actually want out of it is the problem, since my art decisions are strange. As in, I don't know what to decide when it comes to art, so I have to, like, guess. That's what this game is. It's guessing what the fuck is the art doing. Hey, Arthur. Yes? You're gonna grab that horse, Arthur. Okay. Arthur. Okay. Yeah. Imagine a kid's show ending when it started during your childhood, and then it ends, like, well after you're an adult, and you're just like, what? That's what I'm thinking. Does anyone else think that Jazz Jackrabbit is just a rip-off of Bucky O'Hare, though, specifically? Because they're both green rabbits. I think someone mentioned that when I was playing the arcade game one time. Anyway, that big gem you just saw me pick up is a ticket to get to the bonus level. It's not really a Chaos Emerald, but when you beat the bonus level, you get an extra life. And I'll make an attempt to do all these. I think I managed to, looking back, I did all these successfully. I didn't find all of them successfully, but anyone I ever find, I will do just fine. It takes practice. And the way the controller works can make it weird, because if you tap forward twice, you'll start rolling, like an actual Jazz Jackrabbit spin dash. The special stage reminds me of Sonic CD's special stage. It's very similar to that. I think the big difference is this is more grid-like in a Mode 7 sort of way, whereas the Sonic CD one was kind of more of an open area where you're jumping into UFOs, but it's got that same idea behind it. Anyway, the stop sign, I mean, the hand stops you. There's a stop sign that looks like an exit. That'll actually exit you, so I have to be very careful about moving in case I run into it by accident. Medievo's got good music. This is a medieval planet, if you couldn't guess. Since you're terrible at guessing. Although, now I'm thinking on it, at what point does the overtone window account for history? Like, thousands of years from now, are we still going to call it the medieval ages when it's nowhere near the middle of recorded human history? I guess for aesthetic purposes we'll do it that, like how we call classical music classical when we have so many things that can be considered classics. So, just a choice of words. This is a shield that dies after one use. Unless you get the orange one, which has 4 hits on it. You want that one. Screw this shield. Also in hard mode, you only have 3 hits. In the much harder mode, you only get 2, and I'm just like, you know. These swords are a pain in my tuchus. I like saying tuchus because it's just the Yiddish way of saying butt. I don't even know how I came up with that. I was probably watching some, like, Marx Brothers or something. More than likely. Yeah, let's use that toaster because, you know, there's things in a corridor that I'm missing with the main gun. I know what you're thinking. Where can I buy the soundtrack? Yeah, I know, right? Jesus. The Jazz Jackrabbit 2 soundtrack is also incredible. I know that second one's on my outside brain. I don't remember if he worked on the first game, but whatever. That guy's great. I was thinking about following him on Twitter, but that's more of a case of when I follow people on Twitter, or celebrities, or people I like, or just developers, which is the majority of who I follow, seems to be either people who want to follow me back, or I follow developers. Which makes sense. I want to keep up on this mod stuff. And then you have some of these issues like, so Alexander Brandon, you know, Bobby Prince Jr., Lee Jackson, Andrew Necros Sega, I think. I know, was it Tim Mustaine? I think he's done some music. He works for Bethesda right now. He's been all, like, some of these people have just been all over the joint in terms of PC gaming, so it's like, what the hell? Oh yeah, Grant Kurtfope. That's a good one. That is a good one. Yeah, I know. I just realized, oh, because it was Easter, I was thinking about playing games with rabbits in them. Yeah, actually, yeah. No, actually, you want to know the reason why I did this playthrough again, like, so soon, besides the fact that it's really fun? Someone I follow is working on a Jackrabbit Doom mod. Wish I could remember his name off the bat, but once he does that, or once it's, you know, settled in terms of finishing it, because he posts updates on it about it all the time. So I'm being patient about it. I'm going to wait till it's released, and after all the bug fixes. I don't want to beta test things that I cover on YouTube later. Because then I influence the direction of the game, and that's not something I want to do. Ouch! I didn't know you could get fucking dematerialized by spikes. Ah! I mean, yeah, whatever. Oh yeah, I think at least once per episode there's an opportunity to ride a hoverboard. That's one of the things that this patch fixed, by the way, was that originally, well, depending which version you is, because I think this guy who runs the Lemmings clone Licks had this guide on how these Jackrabbit versions work. So I don't know which version that was that had the thing or what didn't have it. But the hoverboard keeps going. Like, it keeps going throughout the whole level when it's actually supposed to drop you off at some point. And there's proof of that when you start running into bumpers, and you're not supposed to be. You know, springboards. You're not supposed to run the springboards with the hoverboard. You do not cross the boards. You got that? You think you're the queen of board or something? Only people that are way too much in the Jackrabbit know what that even means, but yeah. Queen of board is a reference to a Jackrabbit 2 mod that I don't know if anyone's ever completed. It's just a maze. I suppose has some chess motifs or something. It's definitely a castle thing. But yeah, it's called Queen of Board. I think it's one of those things that I don't think is a good fit for this channel, but it's interesting enough that I think I'd try it once, maybe. I don't know. What else we got? Jackrabbit's a good game. There's also the mod Sonic with a Gun, which is basically, what if Jackrabbit had the designs from Sonic in terms of level design? And it tries its best to kind of merge the two together without him being actually Sonic. That's about the size of that one. That one might be worth doing coverage on, actually. But lift that and Lost Ages. You know, you don't select episodes, you just go for one until the end. So if I do something like that, I'll probably have some Sonic playthroughs worked out first, which have a lot to do with me getting some of the, you know, the true endings. Which can mess with my flow, dude. Goddamn right. Yeah.
I am the Jazz who jackrabbits.
Loading Medieval.
It's Medieval Knievo. He's going to jump many cars.
Oh, you know what? I just remembered something. I think there's a DOS game about Evil Knievel or something like that, where you are just jumping cars in like a Daredevil kind of thing, and it keeps upping the ante. I'm gonna have to figure out what that was, because I can't remember it right now. And now I want to. I'm sure it'll come back to me. Look, if I can remember stuff like Gertrude and Secrets and Rocky's Boots, I can remember anything. That's what brain power is good for. What are these yellow columns? I don't know, boy. Oh yeah, the Guardian stage, even though it counts as World 4, is basically associated with whatever the third planet is, so... You expecting a castle boss? Because, no. There's nothing to do with that. It's just an Eggman fight, kind of. Yes, Devin is basically the Eggman clone here. You know, it's terrible. I don't know. It's not like all the bosses are like Eggman fights anyway. Which, really, only a few of them are like that. Yeah, run for those swords. Sometimes I notice they have a lot of invulnerability power-ups next to each other, which are supposed to stack like the rapid fires. I wonder if that's one of the things the patch is going to address? So that it extends the length of vulnerability time based on how many you pick up. I think they should do that. For me. You know. The fact that there's so few for Jazz Jackrabbit mods means that a Redux is pretty much ripe. Oh, there's Devin in the background. That's cool. Who did the artwork for this game? I forget. Anyway, Cliff. Cliff, I know you're out there. Cliff. Fix your store, Cliff. Fix the store, Cliff. Cliff! Damn it, Cliff. Alright, what we got here? Oh, you bet your ass I'm going to cheese this. He's going to shoot at you for a little bit, and then halfway he starts drilling it. The spring yard zone style, really. And that's when some of the ground goes away, and it gives you opportunity to get more health. So, boo to you, sir. Boo to you. And yes, the health bar length has to do with the difficulty setting also, in case you were wondering. Which makes sense. You have an opportunity to see all these patterns when you play with hard enough. But also, yeah, I don't know if I much appreciate bosses being able to do crap off screen. I think that, again, that contributes to the big flaw of this game, which is the screen size availability. It's like, watch where you're going. Gotta run fast. Not too fast. That's why I have this gun. Gotta shoot fast. Not too fast. Or you murder people. Better not. Oh yeah, we get like a ending for each one of these too. Thanks, Nick in the corner. Or something. Nickelodeon? No. That's wrong. Jazz's adventure is just starting. Right now, the hideously dorky Devin Shell is constructing twin mega battleships to blow up Jazz's home planet, Caritas. Eva Earlong awaits. Yeah. I mean, the story's not all cracked up to be, but, you know, they put effort into this stuff. Right? Let's not keep her waiting. Okay. See you in a while. See you in some odd hours. Oh, I will not be doing episode X, which is the holiday episode, before you ask. I decided for this playthrough I will not. Some of that was extra levels content that some of these DOS games have. I wonder if I'll put them in the miscellaneous section I have or something, but they're not really same with Doom 2 master levels, but yeah. Okay, so there's episode 1. We're good.